Hey there, I'm Patrick Franco, and we're here today to look at Shavasana, which is translated as corpse pose, or final relaxation, typically the last pose in a yoga class that allows you to lie down, relax, and absorb all the work and effort you put forth in all the poses that you did before Shavasana. This is maybe the most important pose in all of the yoga practice because it allows you to take in the things that you worked on. And without Shavasana, the question is whether or not are we just moving and doing shapes, or are we actually doing yoga, which is about finding some insight about ourselves through these shapes. And Shavasana helps us do that. So it's a deeply restorative, relaxing pose, and it might look easy, but it could be challenging. So first, we're gonna look at the simplest version, which is lying on our back, but I'll talk you through a few things you can think about as you prepare yourself for Shavasana. So let's come to lie on our back first. And I will start with my knees bent and my feet together. The hope is that when we lie down, that our spine is in a neutral state. From here, I will extend my legs one at a time, and I can start with my feet pretty much together, maybe a little bit apart. And then I can just let my legs release. And so we don't want our feet or our legs so wide that they're much wider than the hips. We want it to be more of like as if I was standing naturally, and then I just let the muscles of my legs release. Then I'm gonna work on my arms. So you want your hands resting by your sides, just a little bit wider than your armpits. Again, not super wide. The palms facing the ceiling allows the chest and collarbones to stay spread. But we want to enhance that even more. So I'm just gonna take the tips of my shoulder blades a little bit more underneath my back, and I can do one at a time, so that my chest is opened even more. And then the head and neck and face should be parallel to the ceiling. The throat should relax. And then the eyes can close. And the idea is to allow your exhales to become deeper and fuller and smoother, and to allow the floor underneath you to fully support you. So ideally you'd stay for 3 to 5 to 7 minutes, depending on how long you have and how long your practice was. But it usually takes about 7 minutes to move from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system. And the parasympathetic nervous system is where you rest and digest. So I'm gonna come out now. Doing Shavasana with no props has many, many benefits. But in order to elicit some of those therapeutic qualities, it's also really nice to utilize yoga props. So I'm going to use a blanket, fold it in half from my head. And the position of the head in any pose in which is restorative, when the chin is slightly towards the chest, it turns off the brain and triggers the nervous system response to quiet, to relax, to let go. So a blanket under the head helps bring the head into that position. If you're working with someone or yourself who has a little low back sensitivity, putting a bolster underneath the knees gives more space for the low back. So I'm gonna have this for underneath my knees. And then I do have a second blanket, which once I lay down fully, I'm gonna lay over my belly and my thighs, and that weighted blanket just helps you relax a little bit more. So we'll come into it now. I'll slide my knees over the bolster. I'll use my arms to guide myself down evenly. And then this blanket for the head does not go under the back. It's just the head. And again, we want the chin tilted slightly towards the chest. I'll fully extend my legs, a little wider than hip distance. Now I can take this blanket over my abdomen, the front of my pelvis, and my thighs. You can even use more than one blanket. And this just helps settle and ground me even more. I'll turn my palms, all the other things we did, tuck the shoulders, close my eyes, and do my best to relax, to let go, to allow my breath to move in and out effortlessly. Ideally, you'd like to stay for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, even 7 minutes, but even 1 minute is useful. To come out, we'll roll to the side. Use those arms and hands to come up to sit. All right. There you have it, Shavasana, final relaxation. It's the pose that you'll typically see as the last pose in class. It's your chance to absorb all the work and effort you put in, to allow yourself to fully let go and be at peace before you go back out into your day and tackle all the things that you need to do. All right, we'll see you on the mat again next time.